Gettysburg War. The Battle of Gettysburg, fought from July 1st to June 3rd, 1863, is considered the most important battle of the American Civil War. After an awesome victory over Union forces, Chancellorsville, General Robert E. Lee marched his armies of Northern and Virginia into Pennsylvania in late June 1863. On July 1st, the advancing Confederates clashed with the Union's army and the Union Army of the Potomac, commanded by General George G. Midday, at the crossroads town of Gettysburg. Evolution of the battlefield. In 1864, a group of concerned citizens established the Gettysburg battlefield as a memorial association, whose purpose was to preserve portions of the battlefield as a memorial to the Union Army that fought here. Before the battle, on June 3rd, soon after he celebrated his victory, Maj. Gen. Joseph Hooker at the Battle of Chancellorsville, Gen. Robert E. Lee leads his troops north in his second invasion of the enemy territory. The 75,000-man army of Northern Virginia is in high spirits. In addition to finding fresh supplies, the depleted soldiers look forward to availing themselves of food from the bountiful fields in Pennsylvania. Farm countries sustenance. The war ravaged landscape of Virginia and can no longer provide. During the battle, July 1st, early that morning, a Confederate division under Maj. Gen. Henry had marches toward Gettysburg to seize supplies in an unplanned battle. They confronted the Union cavalry. Brig. Gen. John Bufford slows the Confederate advance until the infantry of the Union I and Exile Corps under Maj. Gen. John F. Reynolds arrives. Reynolds was killed in action. The aftermath of the Gettysburg War. The battle brought devastation to the residents of Gettysburg. When the armies marched away from Gettysburg, they left behind a community in shambles and devastation, and over 51,000 soldiers dead, wounded, or missing. The wounded and the dying were crowded into one building. Every farm, field, or garden was a graveyard. Some of the dead was due to the grave somewhere had not been buried at all. The Gettysburg Address. On June 1st, 1865, Senator Charles Sumner referred to the most famous speech that was ever given by President Abraham Lincoln. He called the Gettysburg Address a monumental act. This is Abraham Lincoln's speech.
Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, We cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it, far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain. That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
And that is Abraham Lincoln's speech. Go back. And then that is the last slide. So.
Granger knows that your alignment is...
Okay, this is my sketch. I mean, not my sketch, my model. It's a missile. No, not a missile. It's a shell from the,